Ikenna Alozie, a high four-star, fringe five-star, according to some services. His combo guard in the class of 2026 is down to 8 schools. He is looking at Alabama, Kentucky, Gonzaga, Louisville, Houston, Kansas, Arizona, and Washington. This guy's really fun to watch. He's super explosive, has great burst, really physical downhill type of guard. Dion, what have you seen out of Alozie? What do you like about his game? And maybe shed some light on some potential fits as well.
I think he's a really good passer, extreme
Mhm.
speed, gets downhill. I think a lot of the guards in this 2026 class are very similar though. Like it's very hard for me to see a ton of differences in him and Jordan Smith Jr., for example, right? They get to the basket with ease. I have jump shot concerns with both. I think both their jump shots use a lot of legs and they're smaller guards too, right? Like they're not the biggest, the 6'2", 6'6" wingspan, which isn't terrible. But it's like if you're all legs in your jump shot, that's gonna wear on you. You know, especially at the NBA level. But I really do think it does at the collegiate level too. And this is a top 10 prospect, so he's not viewing it like a 3, 4 year stay, right? Like this is a guy that views it as a pit stop. And,
Yep.
you're lucky he's on campus for 3 or 4 months, if we're being completely honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I do have some concerns. But within that, like there's a ton of positive, like I said. Extremely good passer, gets downhill with ease, gets in and out of his moves with extreme quickness, very hard to stay in front of.
Hmm.
Um, some fits I see for him. I mean, honestly, anywhere. Like I think it's kind of easy for a top 10 guy to fit wherever he wants to. But I think Arizona and Alabama make the most sense. It's got to be a very, very high paced offense because if you get him into the half court, it's easier to stay in front of him. But if it's transition, good luck.
Hmm. Yeah, I have a lot of the same thoughts as you. You mentioned how quickly he gets in and out of his moves. Pretty much his entire highlight package is him going right, and yet no one can stop it. And I know sometimes that gets taken as a slight. That's like, does he have a left hand? There's a lot of value, especially at this stage when he's young and still hasn't fully developed yet. Like everybody knowing what you're going to do and they still can't stop it. And that's how I felt watching Alozie play. It is, like you said, he is only 6'2". At least he has that strength. Like he has a wide build and is already carrying a lot of muscle. So I think that bodes favorably, even if he's at this point, I think much more of a combo than like a pure lead guard, so to speak, to where, he's probably gonna have to develop more of the passing, more of like the floor general type skills for his long-term prospects, but I think he should translate immediately into the high major ranks. It's befitting of a five-star. But I like the Arizona shout a lot. He's playing at Dream City Christian over in Glendale anyway. Why not stay home? That feels like the most easy fit, the most easy path for him to follow for Tommy Lloyd to capitalize on that. And I think after this year, Jaden Bradley will have exhausted his eligibility anyway, so to where there's gonna be some guard minutes available. Even the way he plays, like some of the physicality around the paint and like going to the pro hop or just like his getting into his bag once he's in the lane. It reminded me a lot of how Braden Burries plays, and Burries could end up a one and done too, to where that backcourt could have a need. And yeah, I think even the way that Tommy Lloyd has constructed the roster in recent years, he's been going after some bigger guards to um, kind of build the nucleus around. I think about Ivan Karchenkov, the German wing they just got, has a very similar build too. So yeah, there's a lot to like there with the defensive upside. I'll give you one more fit that I like, and that's Louisville. You talk about a team that's going to get up and down, and you don't like it. What is it? Because of the jump shot, and Pat Kelsey wants to take a million threes?
This video is brought to you by NBA 2KLab.com. 2K Lab worked with us last summer as well. They're one of our favorite entities in all of sports gaming. We want to show you their college basketball stadium locator challenge game. And I'm going to share a screen right now as we do this. South Carolina, bang. Oh,
Ooh,
okay, that's pretty good. Next, North Carolina. Why are we only getting the Carolinas?
please
Bang.
lock in.
St. John's, that's New
New
York.
York. Well,
Bang.
that's New Jersey.
We're on fire. Colorado. I actually don't know what state Colorado is.
It's in Colorado. There's a state of
Is that
Colorado.
this one?
It's to the right of Phoenix.
anyway, you get the picture. This game's really fun. They've got more games as well, like Guess the NBA Player, Mystery Fantasy Draft, and more. Stay tuned for all of the college football content and games that they'll be putting together to help you get the best experience out of college football 26. Back to the video.
Because they're in on every guard in the 26 class.
It's
Like,
true.
not everybody can go to Louisville.
I know, but like Louisville also just brought in Ryan Conwell, Isaac McNeely, and Adrian Woolley in the same portal class with no problem. Like maybe
Yeah.
they just have the money and the system to showcase it, and it doesn't matter.
Free Woo. Free my dog Woo,
This
man.
is a hilarious angle. The L's are down until Adrian Woolley is starting. Are you not a Michael Brown Jr. guy?
I'm not huge on him, but I've been told, and listen, I listen. So shout out my dog, Nick Culver, Discord member. Shout out my dog. I listen. He's adamant that Wooley's coming off the bench and Michael started. So, I guess.
Michael is nasty. Are you a Darius Acuff guy?
Yeah, massive A cup guy. Massive A.
Michael is actually who you think Acuff is.
No,
Michael is so much better, dude.
no.
Michael is nasty. We will have
Michael is so the difference in the two is in skill set to me. Michael is small.
but he's bouncy and explosive as all get out, and he's an absolute sniper.
Yeah, he's small. And
Anyway, we can get back to
well,
Alozie.
no, because like this is the issue with Louisville. Because like Michael and Woolley might, very well might be there when like that's my issue with like the Louisville fits for all these 2026 guards. Like one of Michael or Woolley will 100% be there because
Yes.
somebody has to come off the bench, unfortunately. And then realistically, I think they both could be because like I think they both have strengths, they both have weaknesses, and it's like not every guard can go to Louisville and not every guard can play at Louisville, unfortunately. And I do see the system fit, but I feel similarly about Kentucky. Not everybody can go to Kentucky.
hmm I'll give you one more then. I could see him fitting in at Houston. Houston
Yeah.
will have a void after Milos Uzan leaves. Either Kingston Flemings or Isaiah Harwell could be one and done. Emmanuel Sharp's going to be out of there. They're going to have a lot of backcourt minutes. To my knowledge, man, as much as I love Mercy Miller, he can't play. He can't take all those backcourt minutes himself.
Yeah, I like the Houston shout. I don't know that Houston plays up and down enough.
Oh, true. That's a good point. And I would definitely not classify them as up and down, but they have a more fun offense than I think people give them credit for.
I agree with that, and I think if they had the pieces, they would play. We'll see what they do with Sinak, because Sinak might unlock that up and down aspect where you have like a center that's like I'll beat everybody down the court type of thing,
hmm
right?
hmm
I think Kelvin Sampson can coach any which style he needs to based upon the team, and if he's leading with a guard like this, then yeah, I could see him playing up and down.
Yeah, I would even say like the sell on Harwell, I think that'll be his developmental curve is one I'm going to track for what that could mean for someone like a Lozier because Harwell's a similar type of super physical, get downhill, seek contact out, and if he thrives and is showcased there, I think that would make a lot of sense for a Lozier. Like if Harwell moves on to the NBA, but even as a whole, I just feel like it's sort of been slept on throughout this Houston run that they've been on for close to a decade now. It's not just the bigs and the defense and the physicality and the rebounding. They've always had multiple guards who can go create their own offense and go get a bucket. And, you mentioned the jumper concerns with Alozie, but still having that guy who's so tough to stay in front of, who can get downhill and get easy buckets that way and find those bigs for those dump off passes, I think is really valuable and tantalizing to think about what Samson could do with him as well.
But right? It's just like the stuff that he does is looks you can almost have that. You know what I mean? That's my issue with Louisville's things that are on this list. Continuing, like sure he would have that opportunity too. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see with Alozie. Really fun prospect to watch. Got a lot of upside there. Pretty much any of these schools will be fun other than Washington. I'm just out on the Washington experience until proven otherwise.
Markel Fultz, Washington, more lotto picks lately than UNC.
Have they? I don't think they have, Dion.
Who do y'all have?
We when was Markel Fultz taken number one overall? 2017.
Hmm.
Carolina had two lottery picks in 2019.
Who?
It was Kobe White and Cam Johnson.
Yuck.
That
Oh,
I don't get why either of those are getting yucks. They've both been very successful pros.
yeah, two late bloomers.
Nothing wrong with that. Kobe White was a one and done. He took some he was a late bloomer in the NBA. I'll give you that.
So was Cam.
Yeah, but Cam was pretty good immediately. Anyway, any school but Washington for Alozie, make it happen.